everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Maba. My Dharma name is Xiǎnxǐng. And my talk today will be a continuation of my last talk. My last talk was on Samantabhadra. Today I will be talking about the 10 vows of Samantabhadra. There are many bodhisattvas. I'm going to talk about Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. His name means all good or universal worthy, because he is good for everyone and good in all ways. Now, as I showed you last time, bodhisattvas are those who have set on the path to the realization of Buddhahood. I think there also be one who has attained it. For instance, Buddhists often called the great Bodhisattva. They represent our struggles, they are guides for our progress, and they epitomize qualities and actions needed on the path. So if you take Bodhisattva vows yourself, and you're considered a baby Bodhisattva, because you've just started, you have the aspiration to become a Bodhisattva. Even if you're not fully there yet, that's where you're going. And you can look to the great accomplished Bodhisattvas for guidance and inspiration. And here is the statue of Bodhisattva Samantabhadra from Ome Mountain in China. You can see he's facing in all directions because he's ready to help everyone, no matter where they are, and no matter who they are, no matter what form they are in. So he looks everywhere and is ready to go everywhere. You can see his riding his elephant. Many of the bodhisattvas are riding an elephant when you see them in statues, or a tiger or a leopard, various animals. Each bodhisattva has a particular one. Bodhisattva Samantabhadra is on the elephant. He's considered the bodhisattva who accomplishes his vows. Just like a steady, strong elephant, nothing could stop him from reaching his goal. The elephant 2,000 years ago was the animal in India that could go anywhere it wanted. If it wanted to go somewhere, it went. A lion could not stop it, a tiger could not stop it, a man could not stop it. And nothing stopped Samantabhadra from reaching his goals. As you can see, each elephant has 2 many tusks. Each one has 6 tusks. And the tusks represent various things. A couple of the things they represent are the paramitas and the senses. Paramitas are generosity, ethical conduct, patience, diligence, meditation, and wisdom. These are qualities that every bodhisattva has to perfect on the way to Buddhahood. And the 6 tusks represent that Samantabhadra has done this. He has accomplished the perfection of all 6 paramitas. They also represent the 6 sense organs: eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. This represents that Samantabhadra uses those senses in a perfectly good way. Our senses are the gates to our mind. As you can see, mind is also a sense organ. What comes through our senses affects what is in our mind. We are normal people or baby bodhisattvas. If we see something frightening, we become frightened. If we see something disturbing, our mind is disturbed. We see something that would tend to anger us, our mind becomes angry. So whatever we started out with goes away. It's changed by our senses. We also don't see things clearly because of our hindrances. The Bodhisattva like Samantabhadra has overcome all those problems, sees things clearly as they are, And what he senses does not alter the state of his mind to a bad state. Senses are very important in Buddhism because they are the way through which nutriments reach our mind. Nutriments, just like food for the body, feed the mind. Whatever we see, hear, smell, touch, taste, even what we conceive or perceive with our mind, they alter the way we are thinking. If you take in a lot of bad nutriments, you will have some bad things in your mind. It's like if you are doom scrolling, your mind turns to despair because you just keep seeing bad things over and over and over again. So if we're doom scrolling, we need to take a break. See something hopeful, see something beautiful, something educational, something helpful. Because we need to have good food, good nutriment coming into our mind. So Samantabhadra's 10 vows will help us to perfect the paramitas and will also touch upon the sense organs. Again, this comes from the Avatamsaka Sutra and from the book 39 at the end, which is about Sudhana's journey to awakening. He's decided he wants to become awakened and he goes to see many, many, many teachers. He learns something from each of them and eventually he comes to Samantabhadra. Samantabhadra has many things to say and he answers many questions. Then he finally ends with the 10 vows to help Sudhana reach awakening. The first vow is I vow to revere all the Buddhas. Samantabhadra goes on to say, I arouse deeply resolute faith. And he also says this faith will continue until the realms of beings end, until karmic actions come to an end, until beings' afflictions come to an end. This means forever, as far as beings in samsara are concerned. As long as there is someone suffering from their karmic actions, he will be there with his faith. He will not lose faith. And when we say he has faith in the Buddhas, this is not a blind faith. And when we say revere, we mean respect and honor and great admiration. Faith in Buddhism, as I said, it's not a blind faith. It's based on something. There has to be something that inspires you to have faith. Clear, joyous faith is the first kind. And this is the faith we have when we just see something and it inspires us to have some faith in it. You see an accomplished monk walking along peacefully. It may make you think, how did they do that? Did not know it was possible to be that calm, that collected? Maybe it is possible for me to do that. Maybe I could learn something from that. You see that a friend of yours has meditated, or someone you respect has meditated. You may think, wow, that has really helped them. I don't see them getting angry anymore. It gives you some faith to try it because you've seen it work for someone else. My own was inspired by hearing about Martin Luther King working with Thich Nhat Hanh to develop methods of nonviolent protest. It inspired me to look further into the Dharma. Aspiring, knowledgeable faith arises when we have learned more. We've studied teachings, we've done some practice, and as we've studied the Dharma, we've started to think, wow, this really does make sense. I can see why it works. I can see that it works. And I aspire to do more. You commit to practice. You learn that it does work, it makes sense to you. And then resolute faith or conviction is based upon your own experience. When you've practiced and practiced, you know from your own experience, this is the way for me. This is the way. When you've meditated long enough and you've seen, it really helped me be free of anger, greed, of so many things. It helps me be a better friend, parent, spouse, whatever. And you know you're going to stick with it because it helps you. So this isn't like a blind faith. This is the kind of faith we have in gravity. When you're ready to roll out of bed in the morning, you don't have to stop and think, okay, am I going to land on the ceiling or am I going to land on the floor? You just know you're going to land on the floor. From experience, you know I'm not going to go floating off into the air. You know that when I put my feet down, they will go on the floor. This is based on experience. This is the kind of faith we're talking about. You just know it for sure, and you have no doubt. That's the kind of faith Samantabhadra is talking about. And he's talking about the Buddhas. He believes their teachings will help. He knows they will help. He has done it himself, and he has no doubt. He will keep that faith in them all time. Second vow is I vow to praise the qualities of the Tathagatas. He says, Buddhas, as numerous as atoms and surrounded by ocean-like congregations of bodhisattvas. With deep conviction, I praise every one of them, everywhere, for all time. This follows upon the first vow. We know from experience this works, and why wouldn't you praise it? It's something that works. You know it works. It's the kind of thing you can recommend to other people. You also are studying the qualities of the Buddhas when you do this. So this is one of those good nutriments for your mind also, because you are thinking about the qualities of the Buddha. That means you are thinking about compassion, you are thinking about metta or kindness, you're thinking about their diligence, you're thinking about their ethical conduct. So you're filling your mind with good things, good nutriments, and helping your mind to be better. And when he says every one of them for all time, means in every direction, past, present, or future. And very importantly, he says, whether training or beyond all training. As you may remember, if you were here last time, we talked, all beings have Buddha nature. That means all beings can become a Buddha, even if they aren't one now. If you look at the person next to you, or you see the dogs outside or the birds flying through the air, they can become a Buddha, and they will become a Buddha at some time. Maybe very, very, very distant, but they will become a Bodhisattva and a Buddha. Samantabhadra already said we're in this for the long haul. So he's really talking not just about Buddhists, but about everybody. He says whether they are training or beyond training. Beyond training is the Buddha, of course, someone who's beyond training. Even if you are just practicing, just started, you're already training. As you can see in the picture, lots of lotuses on the water. Don't see any blooms yet, but they're going to come. So we will see Buddhas in the future everywhere. Number 3, I vow to make unlimited offerings. Offerings are gifts given generously with no strings attached. Samantabhadra says, making offerings of all kinds in all directions throughout time. Many types of offerings, including lamps, flowers, incense, and the Dharma. If you read the sutra, it's easy to get caught up in all the flowers, lamps, and incense, but he also talks about offering the Dharma. There are multiple types of giving: monetary, physical, which includes food, incense, flowers, labor, offering to do things for people. The most supreme offering of all, though, is offering the Dharma. Dharma giving is multiple things. We often think of it simply as being a Dharma teacher or presenting the Dharma. But it also means practicing as is taught in the Buddha Dharma. When you practice, you're also giving Dharma. Because when you practice metta or you practice compassion, you are giving metta or compassion to other beings. So you are giving Dharma. You control yourself from anger or violence. You're giving a gift to others of the Dharma. It's also benefiting others in any way. Could be giving them things, could be helping them, could be teaching them. Gathering beings means bringing people to the Dharma. Someone asks you, how did you learn to meditate? You actually tell them how, tell them where to go, you help them come to the Dharma. This can also be from showing in your own actions what practicing has done for you. It may attract other people. Just as seeing Thich Nhat Hanh's actions and Martin Luther King's actions attracted me. That was gathering of beings. Substituting means offering yourself in someone else's place when they are going through difficulty or harm. Cultivate roots of goodness. It's to cultivate in yourself or in others non-greed, non-anger, and non-delusion. This means encouraging people to be generous, kind, to give up hatred, to learn something. Also means doing it in yourself. You can do that many ways. For instance, if someone comes to you, you hear someone speaking in anger, not responding in anger and giving them a kind word. Instead, it's cultivating roots of goodness in them. You are not helping them to cultivate their anger as you would be if you responded in anger. You are cultivating non-anger in them by responding kindly. And never abandon Bodhisattva works or the resolve you have on the path. Number 4, I vow to repent and reform all karmic hindrances. Samantabhadra said this means acknowledging the hindrances, repenting of them, and resolving never to do the bad things again. This is the one that gives a lot of people trouble. They don't like to think about repenting. But acknowledging, repenting, and reforming all karmic hindrances. First, the thing you have to do is admit I have done harm throughout time. First step to change your behavior is to admit what your behavior is. That's well known. But first you have to admit to yourself I have done harm throughout time. You have to actually repent for it, and you have to resolve to not do it again. And you continue this through time. You take Bodhisattva vows. This is something you have to do on every full moon and every new moon. It seems a little strange at first, but it actually feels quite good to do it. Karmic hindrances arise from our own actions. Our actions that are harmful arise from greed, hatred, and ignorance. They manifest in our actions of body, speech, and mind. It's not just what you do physically, it's what you say, and even what you're thinking. You have to recognize those, repent of those, resolve to follow the precepts. In order to do that, you have to develop roots of goodness. As I said, those are non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. I vow to rejoice in others' merits and virtue. Samantabhadra says, rejoice in all the good actions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout time. You can think about them everywhere, all the time, and every good they've done. Goes on to explain, this is all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas everywhere. And again, whether they are beyond training or in training. So this means any stage. Rejoice in the good that someone has or has done, the good in them, whether they're a Buddha or not. From their first resolve to attain wisdom, this is when you set on the path. From then on, rejoice in all their roots of goodness. It's non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion. And he says, rejoice actually in all merit of all beings everywhere, even merit as small as a speck of dust. It's going to be very difficult. If I can only see good in someone as small as a speck of dust, it's very hard to see that. But it's good to acknowledge that, to recognize everyone is not completely harmful, that there's a tiny bit of good in them. And this means all beings, because again, all beings have Buddha nature. Whether it's a human, a dog, a cow, the ant that crawled in front of you on the sidewalk this morning. So rejoice in seeing the good in everyone, everywhere. This again comes back to nutriments, because you're not just noticing bad things, you're noticing good things. So you are helping your mind to train with better nutriment. 6. I vow to request that the Buddhas turn the Dharma wheel. All of them, using skillful means of body, speech, and mind. Turning the Dharma wheel means teaching. You are making the Dharma continue in the world, and you are helping others find the path. For this teaching of the Dharma by the Buddhas, I request the teaching continue. And I request this in every successive mind moment. This means every moment in your mind, moment to moment to moment, thinking this. They may teach in many ways, using body, speech, and mind. The thing is, we might not always recognize the Buddha or someone very advanced. Could be anybody. So I keep asking them to teach, and hopefully I will see it and recognize it. And you're halfway there if you're vowing to see the good in all beings. So it will help you to recognize good when you see it. 7. I vow to request that the Buddhists continue living in the world. This is asking them to stay in the world to help us. See, they could enter parinirvana, which means they could leave us. We ask them instead to remain in the world to help us. A strong tradition. Also means you keep turning yourself towards them and not turning away. You're asking them to continue. You keep bringing yourself back as well to the teaching. I vow to always follow the Buddha's teaching. No matter the circumstances, I vow to follow the teaching. This, of course, means throughout all time, but beyond that, it means a little more. Bodhisattvas persisted in their training and never gave up practicing. There are many stories about them, and we can see that through personal attacks, natural disasters, war, and other difficulty, they continued to practice. Whether they were living among kings, householders, or even dragons, they kept practicing no matter what. Didn't lose their temper, they didn't fall away. They kept practicing. This is great diligence. So moment to moment, I vow I will be diligent. Of course, we make this vow, but we know we're going to fail at it sometimes because we're not perfect. So we take the vow anyway, and we keep trying. I vow to always respond to sentient beings according to their needs. Beings are of many forms. I will respect them all. Kindness, compassion, ethics, and wisdom. Beings are of many forms, appearances, mental natures, aspirations, behaviors, lifestyles, and species. Everybody is different. And they all need different things. Maybe human or non-human. That means if I see someone who's crying because they're starving, I don't just stop and give them a Dharma talk. I give them some food because that's what they need in the moment. If someone is not at that point yet, I don't talk about emptiness because it wouldn't be appropriate for them at that time. They may need something else. You give them what they need. Bird may need birdseed and a home. Other animal will need something else. Everyone needs something different. I will offer them what they need, benefiting all beings equally. It means without preference. I don't give more to the ones that I like or the ones that are pretty. Great compassion is the very essence of the Buddhists. Samantabhadra said. Let me show a tree here. Because it said Bodhi, awakening, is like a great tree in the desert. The roots are all the beings that exist or will exist or have existed. Your suffering causes compassion. The compassion is the water that makes the tree grow. And the leaves and fruits of the tree are the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas. The Bodhisattvas use their great compassion to benefit all beings. Because of this, they are able to attain Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, full, complete, excellent awakening. It's the full Buddhahood. Therefore, Bodhi, awakening itself, depends on beings. A mind of equal regard for all beings is needed to attain complete great compassion and become a Buddha. This is important because it reminds us we don't do it alone. Even if you're becoming a Buddha, you need others. You need to think about others. Part of interdependence, even awakening arises from interdependence. I vow to dedicate all merit and virtue universally. I dedicate all merit produced from these vows to all beings everywhere. It means whatever good comes from the good things I'm doing, I'm not keeping it for myself. I'm sharing it with everyone to help them awaken, help them be happy. So Samantabhadra said, I vow to dedicate all merit and virtue universally. May they be free from suffering, may they gain happiness, may they gain peace, may the path to nirvana be revealed to them, may I substitute myself for those who suffer, may they attain nirvana and ultimately realize unexcelled Bodhi, awakening. It all may seem like it's too much and it's too difficult. But Samantabhadra said, these vows led him to joy, peace, and happiness. He said, this rejoicing of mine is endless. It continues on in each successive mind moment, uninterrupted and free of any weariness on the actions of body, speech, and mind. But doing all these good things, purifying his mind, his actions, brought him joy, not weariness. So, for listening today, now let's dedicate all our merit to all beings everywhere. May all beings know happiness and the causes of happiness. May all beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all beings know the great joy free from suffering. And may all beings know the equanimity, dwell in the equanimity that is free from attachment, aversion, and ignorance.